Imagine a power that works like magic, a power capable of transforming your reality so profoundly that you look around and see the universe responding, bringing exactly what you wished for. This is the experience of those who open themselves to the unknown and commit to building a new version of themselves, defined not by the past but by the vision of a better future. When we live tied to the past, we repeat the same patterns, bound to the memories and emotions we carry. And these emotions, be they fear, frustration, or anxiety, keep our body in a constant state of repetition, always returning to the same thoughts. But when we free ourselves from these memories and emotions, we enter a space many avoid, the unknown. This space may feel uncomfortable, but it is precisely where magic begins to happen. This is the first step for anyone who wants the universe to bring something new. To receive something new, you must see yourself differently, recognize yourself as worthy of that change, and have the courage to explore the unknown. Joe Dispenza speaks of the importance of staying steadfast in this process, facing initial discomfort and continuing to move forward even when the path seems empty. He calls this phase the void, a transition period where it may seem like nothing is happening, but it's in this void that we bring the new to life. To truly attract something from the universe, we need to create a new identity, someone who already lives and feels what they want to achieve. And to do that, we need to practice, visualize, and mentally rehearse this reality as if it were already true. Over time, this constant practice begins to install a hardware in our brain that prepares us to live that new future. The brain then no longer just records the past, but transforms into a map for the future. We start to act and feel as someone who already lives the desired reality, and this internal shift creates a new energy that attracts what we want to us. This change requires focus and discipline. It means silencing the outside world, turning off the phone, setting aside time for this visualization practice, and connecting with the future. And when past emotions, like anxiety or frustration, arise, Joe teaches us to self-regulate, taking a deep breath and reconnecting with the energy of our future. In the end, it's our persistence that moves us forward, because when we stay firm and connected to what we want, the universe inevitably responds. And this, as Joe Dispenza says, works like magic. Now that we understand the power of opening up to the unknown and becoming this new version of ourselves, let's explore what this truly means in terms of creation and manifestation. Joe Dispenza reminds us that the magic of creating a new reality occurs not only when we visualize or think about what we want, but when we feel that we are already living that reality. Many people believe they need to see external evidence before allowing themselves to feel joy, gratitude, or love. But by doing this, we let the external world dictate our internal state, perpetuating the same cycle of reactivity. To truly transform our life, we need to learn to access these elevated feelings regardless of what happens outside of us. We need to start feeling abundant, complete, healthy, and fulfilled even before these aspects manifest in our lives. Imagine that you want to attract abundance. If you continue to see yourself as someone who lacks something, always waiting for the external world to bring you that sense of completeness, you'll be vibrating at a scarcity frequency. And by law, the universe responds to the frequency you emit. In other words, if you see yourself as someone who is lacking, you'll keep attracting experiences that reinforce that lack. However, by embracing the feeling of abundance now, by imagining and feeling what it's like to be a prosperous person, you shift your frequency. And by changing your frequency, you attract experiences that resonate with this new state of being. Joe explains that the secret lies in combining a clear intention with an elevated emotion. When you visualize your desired future in rich detail and simultaneously feel deep gratitude as if you've already achieved it, you are literally remembering the future. This practice isn't just symbolic. Neurologically, your brain is forming new connections that reinforce this reality. Over time, the brain begins to see this future as familiar, and the body responds to these emotions as if the dream were already real. This technique is powerful because the brain and body don't distinguish between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. So by practicing these emotions, you begin to transform your states of being, and what was once only a future vision becomes your inner reality. When your inner state is in perfect harmony with what you desire, the universe begins to align to bring you exactly what you visualized and felt. This is the point where the universe truly works like magic. By staying true to this practice, even on days when it feels challenging, you're becoming a new person, a person who naturally attracts the experiences they desire. Because, as Joe teaches, the universe will bring you exactly what you believe you deserve to receive. As we progress, it becomes clear that maintaining this new identity, this version of ourselves that already lives the desired reality, requires more than discipline. It requires profound internal transformation. It's not enough to experience these elevated feelings just once. You need to sustain this frequency day after day, especially when life challenges you to revert to old patterns. Joe Dispenza emphasizes that true power lies in the ability to remain in the new self, even when emotional triggers attempt to pull you back into the past. The question is, how to stay aligned with this new identity when the reality around us seems contrary to what we desire. The key, according to Joe, is practicing emotional self-sufficiency. Rather than letting external circumstances dictate how we feel, we must cultivate an inner state of peace and contentment. This state depends on nothing and no one outside ourselves. It's the result of mastering our own emotions and thoughts. And how do we achieve this self-sufficiency? Through daily practice of connecting with our future vision. Joe emphasizes the importance of withdrawing from the external world, turning off the phone, ignoring distractions, and dedicating time to visualize your desired life in silence and presence. When we close our eyes and imagine ourselves living as our best version, our senses are temporarily detached from the physical world, allowing the quantum field to become our temporary reality. This is the field where all possibilities exist and where we can literally, emotionally rehearse the future we want to experience. By doing this repeatedly, we begin to reprogram our body and mind, and this intentional practice strengthens our ability to remain calm, resilient, and confident, even when circumstances try to sway us. Over time, these new states of being become automatic. We start to think, feel, and act as the person who already lives that desired reality. What seemed like effort at the beginning becomes a new habit, a new identity. Now you might be wondering, what if I fail and fall back into old patterns? Joe reminds us that each fall is an opportunity to know ourselves better, to correct course and refocus. Instead of criticizing or giving up, see these moments as reminders of where you still need to grow. Every time you recognize an old pattern and consciously decide to overcome it, you're strengthening the new self. This process of self-adjustment is what Joe calls small wins, which, accumulated, make us masters of our own inner state. So when we persist on this path, the universe inevitably responds, and what once seemed like a distant vision becomes our new reality. For, as Joe Dispenza says, the magic lies in who you become. Now that we understand the importance of sustaining this new identity and living with emotional self-sufficiency, the next phase is learning to remain in a state of abundance and trust, even when life presents uncertainties. Joe Dispenza teaches us that to truly become creators of our reality, we need to cultivate unwavering faith in the power of the universe and the power within us. Imagine you've experienced moments when everything seemed to align in your favor. Those days when every step was in sync, as if the universe was clearly responding to your intention. But at other times, it's natural to feel doubts, as if progress has stalled or the path seems blocked. Joe reminds us that these periods of uncertainty are not setbacks, but a necessary part of the journey. In fact, they are opportunities to strengthen our faith and resilience. To continue in a state of abundance and trust even in the face of difficulties, it's essential to remember that the creative process does not follow a straight line. There is, according to Joe, a period he calls the void, that moment when everything seems to stop, when nothing seems to happen. This void is a test. It's the space where we need to stay connected to our desire without letting the absence of external evidence discourage us. It is in this transitional space that we have the chance to prove to ourselves that our happiness and inner peace do not depend on immediate results, but on trust in our ability to create. And how do we do this? The answer lies in the practice of advanced gratitude. Joe explains that gratitude should not just be a response to what we already have, but an act of faith in what is yet to come. When we practice gratitude for what we desire, even before seeing it manifested, we send a clear message to the universe that we already believe in its realization. The emotion of gratitude raises our energy, and by feeling this abundance now, we start to vibrate at the exact frequency of what we wish to attract. Gratitude creates a bridge between the present and the desired future. So even if reality doesn't yet reflect the vision you are building, by practicing daily gratitude, you start living in harmony with that future. This state of abundance creates an energy field that attracts experiences, people, and circumstances aligned with this new reality. Gradually, you begin to realize that nothing can shake your confidence. Even on days of uncertainty, you become able to return to this state of gratitude and certainty, knowing that the universe is always in motion to fulfill your vision. This is when you stop waiting to feel abundant and start living as someone who already possesses everything they desire. This inner shift, as Joe says, is the true magic. It's the power of turning waiting into certainty and doubt into trust. By embracing this practice of advanced gratitude and faith in the universe, you start to build a new foundation for your life, one that is unaffected by external circumstances. Joe Dispenza reminds us that when we live as if our desired future is already here, we actually become a magnet for that reality. This is the secret to manifesting an extraordinary life, the ability to sustain this frequency day after day, regardless of what happens around us. Now imagine that every day, before getting out of bed, you spend a few minutes visualizing and feeling the joy, gratitude, and enthusiasm for already living the life of your dreams. This simple act, the feeling as if the future is already present, is one of the most powerful tools to shape your reality. Why? Because the mind and body don't distinguish between what is real and what is intensely imagined. When you allow yourself to fully feel what you desire, you are literally teaching your body and brain to experience that reality as if it already exists. And the more you practice this feeling of completeness, the more you free yourself from the doubts and anxieties that arise when we only look at external conditions. Joe explains that by remaining in this elevated state of being, we create coherence between the heart and the brain. This coherence is not just a feeling of peace, but an energetic frequency that influences the field around us. The more we live in this state, the stronger our electromagnetic field becomes, and the more we attract experiences that match this new frequency. However, maintaining this practice does not mean we'll never face challenges. On the contrary, Joe reminds us that these challenges are essential parts of our evolution. Every time life tests us, it's an opportunity to reaffirm our vision and strengthen ourselves in the process. Instead of viewing obstacles as setbacks, you begin to see them as stepping stones that push you closer to who you want to become. When a challenge arises, ask yourself, how would the person who already lives this reality respond to this? And instead of reacting with old patterns, you respond from your new self. This is the time to take responsibility for your energy and stay true to your vision. Joe reminds us that the universe responds to who we are being, not just what we want. So by sustaining a state of confidence, gratitude, and completeness, you are literally carving your path and shaping what the universe will bring to you. Over time, you'll notice that what once felt like effort becomes natural. Living in an elevated frequency becomes your default state, and reality begins to align with this new vibration. This is where true magic happens, when you become a clear channel for the universe to manifest the best of what it has. And this, as Joe says, is the power of living with intention and purpose. It's the proof that the universe will bring you what you genuinely believe you deserve. Now, as you solidify this practice and make it a way of life, you start to realize that it's not just about reaching specific goals, but about becoming a new person, someone who lives in harmony with the limitless possibilities of the universe. Joe Dispenza teaches us that true transformation happens when we commit to the daily practice of being this new version of ourselves, regardless of immediate results. When this becomes a natural part of your being, the manifestation process flows spontaneously and effortlessly. The key here is to understand that true success isn't only in attracting external things, but in who you become along the journey. Every time you choose to align with your desired future, you reinforce your new state of being and strengthen your energy field. This field, charged with clarity, love, and abundance, is what naturally attracts everything you desire. But for this transformation to be lasting, you need to cultivate a long-term mindset where each day, each challenge, and each victory contribute to your evolution. Joe reminds us of the importance of cultivating discipline and patience. Instead of being swayed by impatience or the need to see immediate results, he recommends focusing on constant growth. This is the fundamental principle of being rather than having. When your state of being aligns with what you desire, results become inevitable. But if the focus is only on results, you risk falling into the trap of living in lack, with anxious desire reinforcing the idea that something is still missing. And how to make this practice resonate continuously in your life? Start with small daily victories, moments where you consciously reaffirm who you want to be. Every time you overcome a past emotion, like anxiety or frustration, and choose to return to your state of gratitude and certainty, you are literally recreating your mind and body for this new reality. Continuous practice creates what Joe calls long-term neurological circuits, connections in the brain that support this new identity and over time become automatic. With this repetition, the desired state of being becomes your new normal, and the doubts that once limited you begin to dissipate. You no longer need to struggle to manifest the life of your dreams. Instead, you are the manifestation of that dream. This is the point where your inner frequency becomes so elevated and constant that the universe responds instantly, bringing opportunities, people, and experiences that perfectly reflect who you are. This is the power of living with intention, purpose, and gratitude. When aligning with your desired future becomes a lifestyle, life responds accordingly. You become a conscious co-creator, and magic begins to manifest in every area of your existence. And then, as Joe Dispenza reminds us, you don't just live the life of your dreams, but become the person you were meant to be, someone who inspires, creates, and lives in a state of true fullness and abundance. By integrating this practice into your life, you truly become the person you wish to be, someone who lives in harmony with the universe's unlimited power. The conclusion of this process is realizing that the true magic isn't only in attracting things, but in becoming someone whose energy resonates with the experiences you wish to live. Joe Dispenza teaches us that when we make this practice a lifestyle, our state of being no longer depends on what we see out there, but is sustained by our intention and inner vision. We become a source of gratitude, trust, and love, regardless of circumstances. Each thought and emotion aligned with the desired future transforms into a powerful frequency, naturally attracting the right people, opportunities, and resources. And by living in coherence with this vision, the universe's responses arise spontaneously and in synchronicity. This is the point where you transcend desire and become the manifestation itself. The universe, as Joe says, responds with abundance, health, and happiness. After all, you are no longer seeking. You are the conscious creation itself.